What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the 10-Minute Mailbag, and welcome back to kdjTV. They're going to start being a lot of new people around here with MLB The Show 25 getting closer. Well, I upload videos to YouTube 4 times per week. 4 times per week, so you should subscribe for news, opinions, podcast episodes every Tuesday, gameplay, all the stuff. But every single Monday, we do the 10-minute mailbag where I take your questions from YouTube and Discord, and I stretch them out into some pretty good answers, I like to think. So we got 4 questions on tap today, and I'm excited to answer them. So let's get to them. 10 minutes are on the clock. Questions are queued up. I already got the first one on the screen. And I'm actually in the spot already in the game where we need to be. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna get started right now. 3, 2, 1, begin. Tyler O'Brien comes in with the first question. Tyler, thank you for always asking questions. Tyler's question is about the Now and Later program that is approaching. In my opinion, Tyler's opinion, I believe it's going to be for packs and a future cover athlete for MLB 25. But wouldn't it be sweet if MLB 24 gave us cards or players that could carry over into 25? So let me start with the second part. I'd be stunned if that happens. I don't think cards are ever going to carry over. I could be wrong. I'd be stunned if I was right. Or stunned if I was wrong. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening. Not happening. I want to take this opportunity to provide my new revised official stance on the cover reveal. Last week, if you guys were around and listening to the podcast episode, I was pretty adamant that we were going to get cover clues last week. It just lined up perfectly with how the last handful of reveals have been for the cover, and generally speaking, SDS are creatures of habit. I was very wrong, and I'm fine with being wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong. We'll talk about being wrong in a public forum. SDS has thrown us a curveball, a 12-6 hook. So my new official stance is that the Now and Later program on February 4th, which is a Tuesday, next Tuesday, is going to be when the cover comes out. So my new revised stance is maybe we start getting some clues this week. Tuesday or Wednesday might be the days where that first one comes out, but again, that could be wrong. It could even be today while you're listening to this. I think maybe on February 4th in the morning, they reveal who the cover athlete is, and then later on that day, you can play your Now and Later program, get your Now and Later packs, as you can see right there, Now and Later packs, and then you get your cover athlete for MLB The Show 25. If I'm being honest with you, I should have had that opinion from the jump. It makes so much sense now that I'm, hindsight being 2020 and thinking about it. Why not just drop the cover card at the end of a Now and Later program? So I think that's going to happen. Now and Later program, as you can see, February 4th. I am still not aboard the Ellie De La Cruz Express just because I think it's too obvious. Doesn't mean I'd be upset if he's the cover star. Doesn't mean I don't want him to be the cover star. I just think it's too obvious. But clues will start dropping any day now. We'll see. I don't know. I'm very curious. What do you guys think? Is that finally when we're getting the cover? I don't know. But Tyler, that's where I'm at. And I hope I'm right, because I'm ready to see news. If we don't see news soon, people are going to have an uproar. Next question comes from Grimaldi, who is new to the Discord. Thank you for joining. What do you think odds are that we will get some returning legends, Ichiro, King Felix, Carlos Beltran, A-Rod, Andrew Jones, as they will have a good chance to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? So obviously, now that we know it was Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I don't necessarily know if SDS, tries to align their legend acquisitions with Hall of Fame, like CC Sabathia was in last year, or this, MLB The Show 24. Billy Wagner's been in for a few years. I think Ichiro would be cool, but I also don't know if the game can handle Ichiro. Ichiro is a very... Use your imagination here. You guys are going to know what I'm saying, but just let me say it. Ichiro's a very similar player to Tony Gwynn in that he's a contact hitter, singles hitter, and Tony Gwynn, in the way this current game's environment is structured, is not relevant because he's a contact hitter. You need some sort of power in this game to be an actual usable card, at least in online gameplay. So, with that being the caveat, I don't know if I'm rooting for Ichiro to be in this game just because the game cannot handle what he's best at. If the game was retooled to make contact hitting a real relevant skill, then yeah, I want Ichiro, of course. But as far as the other guys, like, I think Beltran would be huge for the community. A lot of people want him. Same goes for A-Rod. Andrew Jones didn't get a lot of run the last time he was in the game, so I don't know. There are some returning legends I want. Like Ted Williams, I think a lot of people want back. Rogers Hornsby, a lot of people want back. But I think what SDS tends to do is once a players' rights expire, they try to go into like a new era of guys and get people who have not been in the game in a really long time. Doesn't mean it's impossible. They listen to fan outcry or fan requests. I'm just not sure. Out of all those guys you said, I think the most likely are Ichiro, Beltran, and A-Rod. But I'm still not confident the game is right for Ichiro, at least right now. So that's just where I'm at. But thank you for your question. Next question. This is a long one from Scott. Scott is very nuanced and detailed. Was talking to someone about Hall of Fame voting candidacies now versus years ago, specifically about Bobby Abreu versus contemporaries, and then he looked back at the 2004 MVP race. I will at some point be doing legends that will be hopefully in the game. But he wants to go back to like a 2004 race where players like Armando Benitez were relevant. SDS is putting a focus allegedly on the years 2000 to 2006. Who would be some sneaky good guys to add to the game from that time frame? For him, it's Hank Blaylock, Armando Benitez, Francisco Rodriguez, Jason Schmidt, and Ross Glode. What a name. Good mix of all types of tiers of players. And yes, I think now that we're back to like a traditional power creep, that opens the door for like not everybody has to be a 99. You can add guys who are just an 87 or like an 84, and that's their max, but they'll have relevance during a certain period of time. And then when that period of time elapses and they go to the next thing, you can use them in BR. I think Bobby Abreu is for sure the guy I want. And I know that's not creative because you already said him, but I've wanted Abreu for a good bit. And I think... All right. So, again, I'm going to ask you to use your imagination. If built appropriately, offensively speaking, he would look a lot like Roberto Clemente. Obviously a left-handed version. But he'd be high contacts, 90, maybe 100 power both sides, really good vision because the guy was a walk machine. Obviously the speed would be a little less, the fielding would be a little less, the arm strength would be a lot less. Like, use your imagination here. But in terms of like an offensive player, I think he'd look like that. I wonder if there's a better comp I can give you so people don't yell at me. Because I'm not saying that Bobby Abreu and Roberto Clemente are the same player. I'm not even attempting to insinuate that. But I do think Bobby Abreu should have more Hall of Fame push. I don't know if he's a surefire lock Hall of Famer, but like I could see it. If you look back at his baseball reference page and compare him to contemporaries, like Scott was saying, dude had a hell of a career. Like a hell of a career. And I think because he was around for so long and played for a bunch of teams, he kind of flies under the radar just a bit. I guess I'm not really finding a good comp. Larry Walker-esque, less power though. Honestly, I think I was right on Jump Street. Clemente's a pretty similar player. The way he's built in this game, not in real life. Okay? Not in real life. This game is a fantasy. But I would really love that. I know Mark Teixeira had some big years in that stretch. Really like Mark Teixeira back in the game. God, there's so many guys from that time period that'd be a lot of fun to use. Like a Darren Erstad, if they could make contact relevant. He had an insane year one year where he had like 200 and something hits and a huge batting average. Darren Erstad would be fun. Plus a weird first baseman archetype because he's not a power hitter. Guys like that. I love that time period of baseball. I've been a baseball fan forever, but like that's when I was really able to truly fall in love with the game. So I agree with Scott. I think a lot of those guys would be fun. And our last question today from Irish Guy 77. Top of the morning to you. What are the chances sidebar, I was in Ireland a few years ago for work, and a little like 8-year-old boy randomly, stranger, said top of the morning to me, and it made my vacation. It was incredible. They really say that there. Moving on. As a mostly offline player, I'd love to have an offline BR mode or something like Madden's old Superstar KO mode. What are the chances we see a new offline game mode in this year's release? I don't know. So the chances are never zero, right? You can't say the chances are zero. I think we can all agree the game needs a little bit of a refresh, from a things to do standpoint. A new offline mode would be incredible. A new online mode would be incredible. I am so curious if SDS had like the development resources. I apologize for my speaking abilities today. The development resources to put time into both things, one thing, neither thing. I do think the offline community needs a new fun thing to play. It could be within Diamond Dynasty or outside of Diamond Dynasty. It doesn't have to be within it. It doesn't have to be attached to it. It'd be cool if it was. It doesn't have to be. Unfortunately, the player base of this game like pits itself against each other a lot. Like, offline needs this, online needs this. I'm better, offline's more superior. Everybody has the right to ask for new things, and in a perfect world and in a healthy game environment, everybody gets new stuff. MLB The Show 25 needs new stuff. I hope we get it. What are the chances? I can't put a percentage on it, but I wouldn't say 0, and I for sure wouldn't say 100. So you want to go right in the middle and say 50% chance? That sounds accurate? I don't know. Let's say 50% chance. That will do it for another 10-minute mailbag. Potentially the last 10-minute mailbag without knowing who the cover of MLB The Show 25 is. I have a feeling there will be one more, but you never know. I have moved the goalpost. I have realigned my theory with facts. So that's where I'm at. But thank you guys. I love you guys. The 10-minute mailbag is fun, and you make it funner. More fun. Love you all. See you next time.